Welcome back to the Puddin' Creek Rod Shop. Now, if you like traditional styled hot rods, you are going to love today's episode. Today, we're going to be digging through my personal stash to find just the perfect traditional hot rod part to go on the Mini Pearl Roadster. Now, later on, the little woman's stopping by to open the mail, so run the dog out of your favorite easy chair, get in the kitchen cabinet and get that quart of blinker fluid you've been saving, crack the top on it, kick back, and let's get this thing started. Now, I know you guys tuned in thinking today is the episode where Puddin's probably got that rear end sandblasted and painted, and he's probably going to install it back in the car, and there might even be a test drive on this episode. Well, it's still propped up here against the door just like it was before, and I haven't made any progress on it at all, and I'll tell you the reason why. You see, the rain just will not let up here in the East Amazon rainforest. I mean the mountains of East Tennessee. If it's not just pouring down rain, the sky looks like this right here, like it's about to at any minute. And the weather forecast is not much better. It's just every day like this. Sometimes we get a half a day of sun, but I need about 3 days to get outside and get this thing sandblasted and primed and painted. So today we're going to work on something totally different. As I'm walking by the Mini Pearl, I'm thinking, boy, this sure has one single goofy tail light. I guess old Henry Ford figured we just needed one, it didn't need two. And also it's got 2 license plate brackets. Well, we don't need 2 license plate brackets. What we need are 2 tail lights. And we need 2 cool tail lights, like hot rod tail lights. Now, I know there's one of you younger guys watching the show right now, and sometime way off in the future, hopefully, when your old buddy Puddin' Creek kicks the bucket, you're going to see a notice on the internet for the Puddin' Creek estate sale, and you're going to show up at the front door of the shop and tell the little woman, I'd like to buy that Model A taillight that Puddin' Creek took off the Mini Pearl Roadster back in episode 115. And she's going to say to you, well, I wouldn't have any idea where that's at. And you're going to say, I know exactly where it's at. It's hanging on a S-hook right back there amongst all those early Ford throttle pedals. So I've got these old 1930s Packard tail lights. I actually just have the lenses and the bezels. I don't have the housings or the bulb sockets or any of that. So I would have to fabricate the housings, which is fine. We can do that. Now, one thing I like about these, you could turn them any number of different ways, and they kind of look good every way. You could even get goofy and mount them diagonal if you wanted to be, kind of 60s custom. Now, here's a whole box of 32 through 34 tail lights. But those don't look a whole lot different from the Model A taillights we just took off, so I'm not even going to dig in that box. Here's a GMC truck taillight. We don't need that. Fog lights, headlights, spotlights. Maybe we should put some arrows on it. You think they'd like that at the wedding? We could turn the arrows on and blink on the way out. Here's some cool little lights. They have a glass kind of beehive lens. I'm guessing those are probably 1940s trailer lights. Merc lights. We don't need that. 1955 Ford truck. We sure don't need that. Now, these are pretty cool. Original set of 1949, 1950 Pontiac taillights. Now, those look really good on a hot rod. Looks like here's the matching one to it, so we got a matching set of those. Now, right here is the exact same thing, but a repop set. Now, I probably didn't buy these individually. Looks like they're Ventique, which is pretty good stuff for repop stuff. I think these came in an estate buyout, so I think these are just something I got in an estate sale. But look like these are brand new, never been installed. And then right here is, I guess, another set. I don't know. These look like they might be a little bigger. These definitely are a little bit bigger. So you Pontiac experts, put it in the comments. What's the tail light that looks just like a 4950 Pontiac, but it's bigger? I have no idea. Anyway, we've got a matching set of them. Well, it's a good thing I chose not to sandblast outside today. It's a good thing I chose just to work on tail lights. Looks like it's a good tail light day. Now, as we go through these different taillights, you guys put it in the comments. If it was your car, which taillights would you use? Right now, I'm really leaning toward those Packard taillights, but I was kind of saving those for the Ojai Coupe. Those were some of my favorites. But now these 4950 Pontiac taillights, they look great on a hot rod. So let's just take these repops apart here real quick so we can get down to the actual, just the lens and the bezel, and we'll go over and hold them up to old Minnie Pearl and see what they might look like. Now, the little woman is going to die when she finds out I'm getting ready to cut holes in the back of Minnie Pearl today, especially this close to the wedding. Now, I really like these Pontiac taillights. They look great. The only two things I have against them, number one, they're 4950, and we're trying to do this as like a 1940s style hot rod, so they're a little late, period-wise. And also, everybody's got these in a hot rod. They're very, very popular. Now, you usually see 41 Studebaker taillights more on a custom, on a fat fender car, so I actually don't think these will work, but let's take a look at them because I want to be open-minded. I want to do something different on Minnie Pearl. That's the thing I don't like about the 4950 Pontiac taillights. It's just everybody's got them. I want to do something odd or something different or unique. Here's what they look like. This is a really rough one, but I think if I remember right, I've got a set of really nice lenses wrapped up in one of these foam, and a really nice set of bezels wrapped up in the other one. So I don't have the taillight housings again, but I think I've got bezels and lenses in here to make a real nice set of 41 Studi taillights. Now, right off the bat, I see these are not going to work. They've got a lot more radius in them than the panel on the back of the Model A, and that's just a no-go. The only way these would work is if I Frenched them in, and French taillight, that's more of a custom thing and more of a 50s thing, and we're trying to build a 40s hot rod. Let's see what we've got hid in this junk tote. Well, good googly moogly. There's a set of 39 Ford taillights. I mean, that's the quintessential hot rod taillight right there, and that's an original set. You don't usually see originals too often. Speedway and everybody coming and going makes repops of these, the cheap versions, but it's very seldom you see a completely original set. These have even got original 1939 mud on them. How about that? Made in USA, duo lamp, and real glass too, no plastic here. Class B conversion lenses and rims. I wonder what that means. I wonder what a conversion lens is. Whatever it is, it was made in Brooklyn, New York. I wonder how many years ago that was. Now, I want Minnie Pearl to look like a hot rod that a teenager might have built in the 1940s. So I'm looking for tail lights that are 1930s or 1940s or have that look. Would you looky here? Now that's unique, and that's about as NOS as you can get. These are heavy too, so not only am I sure it's glass, it says it's glass, but you can feel it's glass, but it must be really thick glass. Now, if any of you guys are light experts out there and you know what these were designed to go on, a truck or a trailer, or I have no idea, or if you know what year they were made or what era they are, I know absolutely nothing about these lights except for they look really cool. Now, I'm liking everything about this light. I like those heavy ribs that are cast into the glass. I kind of like these black bezels. I kind of like that they're not chrome. It's got a gasket with them. The gasket kind of feels like roofing felt or tar paper. It's like asphalt paper. They sent a couple of screws. Man, that's a thick glass lens. It's heavy. It feels like a 1960s ashtray. So they molded the Signal Stat name brand in the bottom of it here. So I guess they intended for the lights to be installed with the ribs vertical like this. I like that pretty good. That's cool. Of course, it's for a hot rod, so I guess you could install them horizontal or vertical, either one. And something about this black bezel is really tripping my trigger. I mean, that just, to me, kind of looks 1940s. Yes, sir, buddy. Now, I like that. That's different. I've never seen ribbed taillight lenses like that on a hot rod before, and I've never seen black bezels. I mean, not only does that look 40s, it's just pretty doggone cool. It looks good horizontal, too. I like it both ways. Matter of fact, I like it so much both ways it'd be hard to make a decision. Now, you guys that have been following along on the Mini Pearl project since the very beginning, you'll remember that old Mini originally had a chrome repop grill shell, and we switched that out to one of the original Henry Ford commercial grill shells. In other words, the black ones that only came on the trucks and commercial vehicles. Well, these taillight bezels kind of match that whole look we're going for. They're kind of blacked out like the grill shell we put on. All right, I've made up my mind. These are going to be the taillights for Mini Pearl. I like this choice much better than anything we've tried, and it's different. That's the thing I like about it the most. Now we need some housings for it. So I got to thinking, what about these repop 4950 Pontiac housings? I don't really care for repops anyway. I'll probably never use those on a car. What if we robbed the housings from those and modified them if we had to make them work for these lenses that we like so much? Now, I guess that's a 1157 12-volt bulb, so we'd need some 6-volt sockets for it. But let's pull this apart and see if this might work. I mean, just eyeballing it, this looks pretty doggone close. Well, good night, nurse. That almost looks like it's made for it. I mean, this is pretty crazy. Now, when you're putting taillights on a hot rod, one of the most important things you can do is figure out the placement. On a Model A Ford, guys usually just center up the lights in the middle of that rear panel. There's not much to figure out. But I put my license plate a little lower in the back so I could put that Western Auto tag topper on it. And so I might want to put the taillights lower. I don't know. Maybe we want to center them, maybe we don't. But we need to figure that out. And instead of trying to use painter's tape or something like that and tape the taillights in place and take a chance on one falling off and cracking these old vintage taillight lenses, instead of doing that, let me show you a trick that I've used before. I use this magnetic paper. You can get this at any hobby shop. It just doesn't cost much of anything at all. And I just cut out 2 circles the size of the taillights. And that way I can stick those right on there and get an idea of what the placement looks like. Now, this is the normal placement. You just center them up in this panel. But normally guys have their license plate centered up in the panel too. And I mounted my license plate low. And so I'm sort of thinking I want my taillights low. I mean, I don't want to be like everybody else. Plus, I think they look a little high like that. Anytime I see a Model A Ford with taillights centered like that, to me, they look a little high. Now, before we start cutting any holes in Mini Pearl, I'm going to crawl underneath and take the taillight housing with me with the bulb socket in it and kind of check out my clearances. There's a big sheet metal panel under here that you either have to clear, get down lower than, or I'm going to end up having to cut a hole in it. On these old Fords, you just never know what panel's behind the panel you're cutting on, so you got to figure all that out ahead of time. Now, my two white magnetic discs, they work great for finding out the general location, just eyeballing kind of where I want the taillights to go. But to get an exact location, to get some measurements, I need some crosshairs. I need some lines drawn on these magnetic discs. And to do that, I'm using a center head, a Starrett center head. It's part of a combination square attachment for finding the center of a circle. Now, I had already marked the lines on these, and I backed up, and I thought I ought to film it and show you guys. There might be somebody out there that's never used a center head before, and you might want to grab one. So there's what it does. It gives you the exact center of a round piece or a circle. Now I'm going to need another line drawn 90 degrees to get my crosshairs, and I'm just using a little draftsman's square or draftsman's triangle, actually, to line this center head up with the line I've already drawn, and that'll give me a perfect 90 degrees, and that'll give me some points to measure from, because I need to know the exact measurement of these two lights to get them placed in the exact same spot on the car and, you know, get them perfect before I start cutting holes in the car. So I've made up my mind. They're going to be riding low, not in the center. Now I just need to figure out exactly the dimensions of them. The last thing in the world we want is one to be higher than the other. You can see on this little Roadster that Millworks Hot Rods built, they centered their taillights in that rear panel, which looks fantastic, but they've always looked just a little high to me. That's the way most guys do them, but to me that just looks a little bit high. So I've got the exact dimensions located on the front of the car. Now I went back underneath and transferred those dimensions underneath just to make sure before I cut this hole that it's not going to run into anything or something I'm not thinking about. You know the old carpenter saying, measure twice and cut once. Well, if you're a machinist, it's measure 27.5 times and cut once. All right, guys, right here's what we're going to use to cut the holes in old Mini Pearl. Now, before you start commenting, yes, I have hole saws, and yes, I know about hole saws, but hole saws on sheet metal kind of jump and vibrate and grab and jerk. A hole saw on sheet metal is kind of a violent operation, and that's not what we want on a finished painted car. Now, old Mini Pearl's not a show car by any means. It's got orange peel in the paint and paint flaking off, but still, it's a finished painted car, so we got to be careful with it.
Ooh, this is really scary.
Now, the only problem with these little blades that I have on hand right now is they're a little wide to fit the radius of the circle that we need to cut out. In other words, here's the circle we're going to cut, and if you notice, the back of the blade is going to be hitting the circle as we go around. So that's going to make it really hard to cut that radius and not have the back of the blade rubbing. So what we need to do is get rid of some of the height or the width of that blade. This part right here, that needs to be narrowed down. And I looked outside and it's quit raining for a minute, so let's go outside and gnaw on it a little bit. All right, here's what I ended up with. I only took about a 1/16 of an inch off of it, but that should be fine. That should cut that circle with no problem whatsoever. I drilled this one big hole here as an entrance hole for our saw blade to get into the cut, and then we'll cut all the way around and cut this circle out. Now, where a lot of guys go wrong trying to cut a circle out with a jigsaw or a body saw is they try to cut from the hole directly over to the closest part of the line. And then they have to turn almost 45 degrees and try to get into the radius of the cut, and you can't really make that turn. What you want to do is start out here and kind of spiral out real slow in a big arc and keep spiraling out until the point that you contact the line you want to cut. Your saw blade is already lined up with that line, and it's kind of cutting that radius already before you enter the radius. Like Bob Dylan said in that song, hanging around is bringing me down. Let's get to cutting some metal. Some 1928 Henry Ford metal. Does that make you guys nervous? Well, here's how it's going so far. Now, just because I'm giving you guys tips on sawing doesn't mean this is going to come out perfect. You got to realize I'm just freehanding this, and I've had 3 cups of coffee this morning. All right, I just like about 1/8 of an inch, and then it's going to be cut free. So I'm going to put this strong permanent magnet here just to catch the slug, and that way when I cut it free, it won't slide down and scratch up the black paint that's below the blue tape. Well, there's one side. It's far from perfect, but it's not that bad. I'm happy with it. All right, here we go. Same song, second verse. I came home last night to a big old surprise. She wasn't making no cake, she wasn't making no pies. My eyes bugged out and my mouth was gaping. Didn't have nothing on but her old cooking apron. She makes good cornbread. She makes good cornbread. She makes good cornbread. It's the best in town. Oh, she makes good cornbread. She makes good cornbread. She makes good cornbread. It's the best in town. She makes good cornbread. It's the best in town.
All right, it's another mail day. This one is from Mike Russell from Columbia, Missouri. Western Auto.
Hey, that's pretty cool. 67 cents. How about that? That's old.
Let's read the letter first.
All right, let's read the letter.
There's another package inside the package. Dear Pudding and Miss Creek, here is the 1938 Starrett catalog that I mentioned in my email. I saw it on Marketplace and I knew immediately that you should have it. Also, I have included another Wizard Store item for your collection. I really enjoy the show. Mike Russell.
All right.
Okay, well that tells me nothing about this. So this is...
No, that's what he's talking about. That's an old 30s Starrett tool catalog.
Oh.
He emailed me and said that he had a 1930s Starrett tool catalog, and I said, well, that's really cool. How much do you want for it? He said, want for it? I'm just got it to send it to you.
Oh, okay.
So he sent it to us. Ain't that some kind of a guy?
Mm-hmm.
Starrett machinist tools.
Right.
Probably what he's talking about.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought this looked like a gauge, and it's
Yeah,
not.
well,
It's a
that's
speedometer.
a speedometer cable, I guess is what that is. Wow, I have never seen a Starrett catalog that old. How about that? And what year did he say it was in his note there?
1938.
1938. What about that? That is super cool. Kind of crazy. The micrometers in 1938 look just like they did in the 80s and the 90s. Pretty close anyway.
Right.
Didn't really change much. All right, well, I'll sit down and go through that in detail. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Very cool.
Okay, this one is from Jack Shelton, Greer, South Carolina. Turkey Run Cup from 1997.
Oh, yeah? That's a long time back. 1997 Turkey Run. We usually go to the Turkey Run.
Fat Jack.
Huh. How about that? That's cool. It's extra cool. That's an old stock car on there. Moonshine hauler / stock car. All right. Thank you very much. We'll put that on the wall.
Okay, this one is from Jim Zach in Rutherfordton, North Carolina. All right, and just to be clear, I do this slowly because I'm afraid I'll tear something up inside. For all the people who think I'm just slow.
Somebody commented last week that the little woman takes too long to open the boxes.
And I must be stupid, basically.
And she must be stupid because she can't read the letters. Tell them why it takes so long to read the letters.
Well, one, because I have never seen it before. This is my first time reading it. Greetings, really enjoy your content. I found this at an antique mall. Thought you would enjoy it. And because there typically handwritten. Anyway, I am a little slow, but I'm not completely stupid.
Well, I'm glad you didn't speed through opening that 1938 Starrett catalog and cut the cover on it.
This is a popular hot rodding.
Oh, that's a cool one. And the wheelies on the cover with Kragers on it. That's our kind of magazine right there. Super cool. All right. Let's check that out too. That'll be my next cup of coffee. That's what I'll be doing right there. Thank you, sir. That's a very cool one.
This one is from Bill Boone.
Hey, our buddy. Bill Boone, friend of the channel. Bill Boone's the one that built the Lady Luck model and a model of the shop truck also. While you're opening that, I'm gonna peek in the box because looks like some good stuff right here.
Not sure you remember them. It may have been before your time. They had the hit Sleepwalker in 1959. The sales ad was mailed to me in this cover.
I do remember the Sleepwalk. The lap steel guitar kind of made the lap steel guitar into a pop thing.
So am I supposed to pull this out, I guess?
Oh, Western Auto Sale Catalog. How about that? When I worked at Western Auto in the 1980s, we would get these every week. They'd come in just bundles and bundles of them to go to the local newspaper. And people would come in and buy everything in a sale catalog and nothing that wasn't in the sale catalog. I'm not sure they actually made money on those. All right. Santo and Johnny. Absolutely, I do remember them. The glare off of it. Santo and Johnny, they played Sleepwalk, which had a lap steel guitar in it. And before that, lap steel was just kind of known for Hawaiian music and Western swing. And after Santo and Johnny, it kind of became pop for a little bit. Good grief at the magazines.
My goodness.
Bill must be
yard selling or
he must be
estate selling or something.
Doing something, ain't he? Cleaning out his attic. Wow. That's some good ones too. Bill Boone. Now Bill's gonna send me all these and I ain't gonna get no work done on the Mini Pearl Roadster. I think he's just trying to get me in trouble.
Hey Pudding Creek and the Little Woman, I saw this sales ad and thought you would like it for your Western Auto collection. It is from the early 80s, which I think was about the time you worked there. It may bring back a few memories with the items and the prices of things back then. The magazines I got from my friend Doug, who sent you some earlier, and I rescued these before he gave them away. There are a couple from 1959 up to 1973. I looked through them and there are a lot of good articles that I think you will enjoy reading. As always, you're doing a great job on the videos and you're in great enjoyment at lunch on Monday. Break's over, now get back to work. Bill Boone, president of the Creeksters Fan Club.
Oh no, it's him, that animal, that creature. Creature? Who are you calling a creature?
All right. Thank you, Bill. This magazine right here, I was going to show the folks. This was the first car that got notoriety for Boyd Coddington. This was before the smoothie look and the billet aluminum wheels. He built a tall T model, and it had wire spoke wheels, and true spokes on it, I guess, if I remember correctly. Anyway, a lot of people don't know. Everybody just thinks of Boyd as billet aluminum stuff and smoothie cars, but really he was doing the resto rod thing before. He was doing the tall T. All right, thank you, Bill and Doug, both of you. Thank Doug for the magazines and thank Bill for saving them before Doug got rid of them.
This one is from Bob Quarter.
Beth Quarter.
Beth Quarter.
Beth Quarter. Ron Quarter's wife.
Ron and, yeah, that's right. Sorry, Beth. It says, no, cut tape carefully to avoid cutting the box inside. Oh.
Also notice that one was addressed to the little woman.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's a pretty box. To the little woman, aka the mother of the bride, Beth Quarter. Howdy, little woman. Thinking of you and Pudding Creek as you both prepare for your daughter's upcoming wedding. As we watch the progress on the wedding roadster, we thought you might need a mini pearl hat for the wedding, so I decided to set you up. You have fun. Smiles. Beth, aka Fred.
I can't wait to see this.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. How pretty.
Oh, Minnie, I just got the price tag on it. How about that? All right, you got to model that for us.
Haley, hang that on her wall. Model it.
That's right. Let's see it.
I don't think.
How about that? I think that should be the thumbnail. What do you guys think?
Oh, Beth, thank you. What a sweet thought.
Very cool.
It's cute.
It is cute.
I'll have to send that picture of that to Haley.
Oh, yeah, that'll get it going.
Make Haley wear that.
I noticed as you're opening the mail today, you're looking exceptionally beautiful. And I'm thinking it might be the new t-shirts you got on.
What do you think?
Tell the folks about your new t-shirt design here.
It's just colored.
All right, you made some of these for kid sizes, so if somebody wants one for their kids or their grandkids,
Yes.
so they're in kid sizes all the way up through adult, even into the big size. What's the biggest size we sell on that t-shirt?
I think a 3X.
3X?
I'm not positive.
And then what about the kid sizes? I don't know anything about that.
I think it's an extra small, which I think is a size 4 for like a 4-year-old.
Oh, okay. So you just got one kid size?
No, it goes from 4 all the way up to 3X an adult.
Okay. I'm trying to get to the kid sizes. What are the kid sizes is what I'm trying to get at. Okay.
Through
All right. Never mind.
I would imagine it's like a...
All right, if you got a kid, go on the website, puddingcreek.com, and there's some sizes on there. We don't know what they are. But if you got a kid, go to puddingcreek.com. Or if you want one for your wife or your husband, they go all the way up to 3X adult sizes. That cover it?
I guess.
It's a good looking shirt. The little woman came up with this design all on her own.
Well, not really.
Well, I mean, it's Von Franco's artwork. But she had it colored in and decided to do that style t-shirt. Looks pretty cool. I like it.
Okay. That's all. I'm going to take the slow bus home. Okay, we're back. Found out we have a little treasure inside the turkey rain cup. This one says 10th, 1974.
1974? I have no idea.
I would assume it has to do with the turkey line, but I don't know.
We were just clearing it up, and she popped the lid off the cup and said, wait a minute, there's something inside. I'm anxious to see what this is too.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah? Oh, what about that? Gatlinburg rod run, 1974. That's exceptionally cool. Huh.
This one says 1973.
Well, we can't scratch them up, so folks are just going to have to be patient with you opening them. Can't take the knife to them.
Who was that from? Do you remember?
I don't know, but we'll have to go back and find out. 1973, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. That is really cool. These are brand new ones. They've never been stuck. All the way since 1973, 1974. Oh, Miss Charlie's keychain. 1973, that's very cool. With the T-bucket on it. T-buckets were cool in the 70s. I don't know what happened to T-buckets. People don't like them now, but I still like them just because they were cool in the 70s.
They took a lot of time to make sure these didn't get damaged.
We appreciate that too. Gatlinburg is local to us, and by the time I was old enough to go to the rod runs, they'd moved from Gatlinburg on into Pigeon Forge, so I never really got to go to any of the Gatlinburg rod runs. So they have a certain mystique to me. I like the Gatlinburg rod runs. They were a big deal in the 70s. It was just I was a kid. I didn't have any driver's license yet.
Hot August Nights, 20th anniversary, Reno Sparks.
Take that out so we can look at it.
It's never been opened.
Oh, okay. Let's don't open it then if it's never been opened. Hot August Nights. That's very cool. There's all kinds of goodies inside that Turkey Run cup. We didn't even know.
I know. Yeah, who sent that is probably like, whoa, wait.
He probably was. Well, 1972 keychain. Well, that's just too cool, isn't it? The other one, say Honest Charlie's on it too. Yep.
What's Honest Charlie's?
Honest Charlie's was a speed shop down in Chattanooga.
Oh.
That was real big back in the day. Sold speed parts. I think our friend Jerry at Jerry's Automotive in Morristown, I believe he told me he worked at Honest Charlie's or worked at the speed shop near Honest Charlie's. I can't remember for sure. Right before he started his own speed shop. How about that? Very, very cool. All right. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. We will we'll take good care of these. I'm not sure how we'll display them, but we for certain will. But that's very cool.
Okay. Bye again.
All right, break's over. Let's get it. Now, I am really anxious to see what these taillights are going to look like in mini pearl. Now, if you guys remember, I took a little Meguiar's and waxed this panel before we started, and this is the reason I did it right here. I'm not too sure the paint job on this car is of the utmost quality. It's probably just a home restoration, and I wanted to make sure that this tape didn't take any paint with it when I peeled it off, so that's the reason I waxed it ahead of time, and it's coming off pretty good. This crazy weather has started back up again. We may have to put the top on Mini Pearl just to take it out for a test drive. Now guys, I need to drill and tap two 832 size threaded holes in this taillight housing. Now how do you know what size drill to use before you tap a hole? Well, you just go right over here to your trusty drill chart, an 832 tap. You want to drill that with a number 29 drill. So I went ahead and drilled two holes in each of the taillight housings. I don't want to bore you guys to death watching me drill holes. And now I'm ready to tap them with the 832 tap. And we'll use a little bit of this tap free here. Tap magic would work just as well. Now my plan on these taillight housings is to use the two factory holes to bolt the taillight housings to the Mini Pearl's body. And then I'm drilling and tapping these two 832 holes. And I'll use two stainless steel 832 screws to hold the lenses and the bezels to the taillight housing. And my thinking on that is, in the future, when you need to change a bulb, you can just take these 832 screws out and take the lens and the bezel off and not have the whole taillight housing and everything fall out in your hand. Now, I could have power tapped these in the milling machine, which would have put the tap in there perfectly straight, but it's an 832 and I don't have this housing fixtured up most solid in the world, and I'm afraid it might pull and break a tap, so I didn't want to do that. Another way to do it is you can put the machine in neutral, put the transmission in neutral, and leave the tap in the drill chuck and use the spindle of the machine to keep it perfectly straight and just spin it in with your fingers. That works good. But for an 832 tap, I like to feel it, so I just like to use a tap wrench, and that way you can feel if it's going to bind up and break or something's not right. And it starts a little crooked, but you'll notice that I get it straight real quick. I don't really need the spindle to get it going in there straight. The factory gasket that came with these housings was made for a lens that sits down inside the housing. You see the gasket's down below the edge of the housing, but I'm going to need a thicker gasket that sticks up above the housing a little bit. So I'm going to repurpose this one and use it behind the housing to go in between the taillight housing and the body of the car. Now, are you guys thinking what I'm thinking? Let's get these taillights installed. We are having a large time building the Mini Pearl Roadster, and we hope you guys are having fun following along with us. Now, if you want to get yourself one of the new kid-size shirts, the Yeti shirts for your grandson or your son or your daughter or your granddaughter or your nephew or your niece, well, just head on over to puddingcreek.com, and the little woman, she'll pack that up and ship it right to your door. Now, if you did enjoy today's video, leave me a comment, let me know. And let me know if these were the taillights you would have picked if you were the one doing the picking. And as always, the most important thing, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.